Hi, everyone. I'm Candy Mullen, and welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to have a conversation with Sunny Singh, who had a very profound revelation. Dark place as he had a very serious condition, and how he went from the serious condition to finding his soul's purpose and reading the Akashic records for others. So welcome, Sunny.
Hello, guys. Hello, everyone. Hi, Candy. How are you?
Hi, I'm excited that you're here, and thank you for agreeing to come on and talk with us today.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
Yeah, so let me do this. Oops, something just dropped. Let me say some hellos. Let's see. I don't know, Annie Bear may now be not, she might be off right now, but if you're still there, Sharon Donnelly, hi, Dee. I hope I pronounced it right. Maritta's Mirror, welcome. Blue Jean, hi, Blue Jean. Good to see you.
Hello, guys.
All right. And Teresa Ford, hello, Teresa Ford. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. So, Sunny, why don't you talk a little bit about the condition that you were living with, I think, for a number of years, if I'm not mistaken. Just give us a little bit of
Yes,
background.
yes. Actually, when I turned 29 till I was 34, my lungs started collapsing. Actually, and I mean, it just went on. Then first the right lung collapsed, and then the left lung collapsed, and this kept happening for like almost 5 years. And every time I had to go to the hospital, right? So I had to get an ambulance, and when I got there, the doctor had to put like this huge plastic drain inside my chest, and that was really scary, actually. But the thing is, I tried so many things to stop this. Actually, back then, I got a course in Buddhist healing here in Denmark, and that actually explained why I had issues with the lungs. So yeah, so funny enough, the lungs mean self-worth, self-love, and because I had problems and pain, and the lungs were collapsing, that means there was a lack of self-love, actually. So that's like some of the journey started there. But yeah, and then it happened again later.
So your awareness, you connected that a lot of the emotional within was affecting your physical. Is
Oh,
that
oh,
right?
yes, yes, yes. Especially the way Buddhist healing, they explain this, and they actually explain it really well. So you can actually pinpoint what you're working with internally, with what and where and how a disease or illness or whatever it is shows. So that's actually it can give you a lot of stuff to work with, actually. So you have like a better foundation to solve the problem than not knowing anything, right? So yeah.
So did you find this Buddhist group or Buddhist healing in your younger years, or did that come later? How did that come about for you?
Well, actually, I think it was like 3 years into my lungs collapsing and all this. I just wanted it to stop, because going to the hospital and get this straight, and you have to remember, you cannot use anesthesia inside, right? So you're gonna feel this tube going inside. So I just wanted to try whatever to stop this. So I had a friend who knew these guys here in Denmark doing this Buddhist healing, and so I went there, and it's actually free. So you can go there and get healing for free. And so when I went there, they started healing me, and when he got to my lungs, he just said, "Hey, Sonny, why can't you love yourself?" And I just started laughing, like, "What do you mean? What does it mean to love oneself, right?" But as the years went by, I actually learned a lot, and so it actually stopped when I was 34. Like at the end of this long collapsing period, what happened was the hospital here in Denmark actually fused my lungs to my chest on the inside, right? So if they collapse now, they cannot fully collapse, but I can still feel, pain, and that I'm not breathing correctly. But yeah, it stopped after what can you say, doing some internal work, right? So yeah.
Wow. So when what happened next? You talked in, when we had our conversation, and I've heard you speak about this before, then that came along and you actually contracted the virus, and it
Yes.
compounded your situation even that much more. So
Yes.
what happened?
Oh, I can't hear you fully, Candy. Are you there? So I heard some of your question. It was about how the pandemic actually, when that happened, how that actually literally destroyed my whole life. To be honest, so what happened was, when I was 34, all the lung issues actually stopped, and I was feeling really good. And then the pandemic hit, and I got it in January 2020, and that really shook my whole foundation, because what happened was that, first of all, it was really really bad. Yeah, sorry, I'm just continuing
No,
from
that's
what
all
I
right.
heard. But the thing is, when I got the pandemic, then I started coughing like insanely much, right? So a couple of weeks after, I started feeling pain inside my chest, and I went to different doctors, and actually at that point, we didn't know that much back about the pandemic, right? So doctor was just like, yeah, okay, this, you've just been ill, you have a fever or something like this. But what happened was that the pain wouldn't stop, the coughing wouldn't stop, so I needed, strong medication, morphine, codeine, like that. And in the end, I couldn't even sleep. And I could barely make food for myself, actually, to be honest. So what happened with all this was that I went to, like, for 3.5 years, I went to 48 doctors almost, most of them in Denmark. And what happened was that, in the end, they just gave up. um, they said, this is chronic, we can't do anything, you got to live with this. And I was taking morphine daily, right? Actually, most of the time for these 3.5 years, I was taking around 30 pills a day.
Oh my
um,
gosh.
yes, so it it was literally a hell, to be honest. um, so yeah, and that just, and in the end, what happened, when the doctors gave up, actually, then here in Denmark, they gave me early retirement, because they were like, okay, we can't help you, there are no doctors who can help you, so we don't know what to do, so we're going to give you early retirement. And yeah, and that just destroyed my whole world.
Well, I was going to say that must have been absolutely devastating to hear that. So what then? What did you do? What did you turn to? Did you look at the Buddhist meditation again? That
uh,
pull yourself out of that?
Yeah, well, actually, it all really started when they said, we're gonna give you early retirement, and then I was like, okay, it's just been 5 years since I got my engineering degree, and now I'm getting retired and handicapped. So when I officially got the letter of being retired, then I was like, okay, I have to do something, because if I don't do anything now, then nothing will happen, and I will stay in this state forever. But here's the funny thing, Candy. During these 3.5 years, right? You have to remember, I was in pain. I couldn't sleep. Everything was bad. I couldn't focus, I couldn't speak properly, I was forgetting words and everything. But on some nights, actually, where I had a little bit of courage, I actually started praying. And in the prayers, I would say that, and this is funny because I was in pain, right? So in the prayers, I would say that I would give up everything, just to know if God is real, right? So I would give up, job, career, house, car, everything, just to know if God is real. Um, and the thing is that, it's funny that I would even do this because it makes no rational sense. Um, but what happened was that, I was doing these prayers, like being totally honest, and then when 2023 came along, I got the letter of the early retirement, and I was like, okay, I have to do something. So what I did was, actually, 1st of April is actually, exactly 1 year ago. I started doing some meditation, and I actually did the Sync Minds Om Namah Shivaya. So I did that for 30 minutes every day. And what happened was that, on day 17th, I was watching a show on YouTube, and they were talking about these soul contracts. They were talking about your soul family on the other side, how you're actually planning your life. And I was like, okay, this sounds interesting. And when I just have seen that show, I saw another one quite similar, also talking about these soul contracts and soul families. And at the end of the second show, I suddenly felt, um, I suddenly knew that it was all true. And this was, I mean, this was, really amazing. And you have to remember, I was a guy that had problem with self-love, loving oneself, or the lack of self-love, and then coming to a knowledge where the other side actually gives you information that hey Sonny, this is actually true. So that means that the other side actually loves you. And to get that kind of information, I was like, right then my whole world changed. I started seeing, just looking in the room where I was laying and watching the show, everything started to become something else. And I totally broke down and I started crying, um, because I was like, how can I suddenly know this? So what happened was, I kept doing the Om Namah Shivaya until the end of April. And I didn't even tell my friends. I didn't even tell my mom. I live with my mom after the illness. Um, so what happened was that, a couple of days after, and you have to see that I totally broke down. Right, every day I would start crying because, this huge impact of this information that I got, it shook my whole world. Because before that, I thought that, okay, there has to be something, there has to be some kind of energy, or universe, or source, or whatever you want to call it. And then to suddenly come to know that there is, I mean, wow. In my wildest imagination, I would never have thought that I would get this far, or get this kind of knowledge from the other side. I keep saying the other side. I mean, they're all the same size, right? But the thing is that, I think a couple of days after, I actually told my mom, and I was like, hey mom, something happened to me a couple of days. And my mom, she's like a really strong believer. And she was like, okay, so what happened and everything. And I was like, okay, I did the Om Namah Shivaya, and I got Shiva's Gyan. So that means that I got, like, what can you say, their blessing, maybe, or their, I think blessing might be the best way to say it. But then I told her, and she got really happy that, okay, Sonny, you got Gyan from a guru. And what happened was that, a couple of days after, it became suddenly hard to be, what can you say, in my situation, or in my little world here, right? So I had to figure out uh, who is the old Sonny, and I had to figure out what is this new information, what is it gonna do to me, and because it started to change my whole perspective or and attitude towards everything. So I went to Sri Lanka. I found a Ayurvedic place. I told them about my illness with the pain in the lungs and everything. So I went there, a super beautiful place down at the ocean, near the ocean, and there I could actually be alone. So being there alone, and thinking all this through, actually stepping into this new kind of energy that was opening up for me. I still couldn't believe it. I would still cry every day. So so slowly it opened my consciousness, and slowly, just by giving me that information or giving me that knowing, I could uh, it started to like give me more information, or downloads, or whatever you would say. So it started telling me more and more, so I could, through this, actually see that, okay, so this means this, and this means that, and all these things. And today I'm sitting here in front of all you guys, and I'm actually the owner of the website akashicrecords.dk, and I have a Facebook page as well called akashicrecords.dk. And today I'm doing Akashic Records readings for people, and they're for free. And also I took another course called Your Last Development Program from Roger Burnley. So these two things together, especially the program from Roger Burnley, it actually helped me to work with my own consciousness, like limiting beliefs, whatever things you're telling yourself about the past, or whatever things that can hold you back. And plus, there were some really great people among these this group, and so this opened my consciousness a lot. Actually, while doing the program, I started doing stuff I have never done in my entire life, because I had whatever limiting belief, right? So just this program, together with this truth, it actually changed everything for me. So it started opening up more and more. And um, and then one day I was watching a spiritual show on YouTube, and it was about the Akashic records. And I was like, oh, I gotta listen to this, because I've heard a little bit about what it is, and how enlightened people have access to this. So when I saw this show, and uh, um, I was like, okay, so what's happening here? So they were talking about this, and this woman, Laura Coe, she was actually, you could do courses, online courses with her, and she teaches the how to access the Akashic records. And when I when I heard her saying that, I got goosebumps, and I was like, no, I can't do that. No, no, that's not for me. But because I got those goosebumps, I was like, okay, I have to try. I mean, I think it only cost like $20, right? So I was like, okay, if it doesn't work, then I just wasted $20, so it's not that much. So I went to that course actually, and I think we were, I don't know, 300-400 people actually taking the first course. And so what happened was, she was talking about this little bit, about how she started, and who she's taught and everything, and all these situations she's been in. And then she gives us a text, and says, okay, if you read this, close your eyes and read this. And she actually did a meditation for like 10 minutes. So you close your eyes, you visualize something, and then you have a text that you read. And when you read that text, and you need to read it with a person's name. And then she was like, okay, now you have access to the Akashic records. And I was like, okay, so how do we use this? I mean, so I tried a little while being here at home, just while watching something. I would like to say try to predict something, but it's that's not how it works. So so later, what happened was that I actually got into a practice group, um, and hello, Cindy.
Hey, Sunny. I've got Candy on the phone. She can't get back on, but I
Okay.
I'm going to just give you Candy had a couple questions that I can just give you through this way. But
Yeah.
if you want to keep going about the Akashic records, then I'll mute, and when Candy has a question, I'll just send it to you. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And it's funny that you come in now, Cindy, because Cindy is the one who is administrating the Akashic Records practice group. So, so with Cindy and all these beautiful people in this group, I mean, I'm so honored to be in a group with these beautiful angels, these gurus, these amazing people. So together with them, I think I've been practicing for I think it's even more than 6 months now. And and the insane thing is, I mean, you got this text and you're reading somebody's name, you do the meditation, you close your eyes, and then you ask whatever question they have, and it can be whatever is good for me, or can the Akashic records give me any guidance for me at the moment? And funny enough, it actually works. I mean, it is I cannot explain it. It is just it's just weird somehow, because I mean, I'm 40 something years old, right? And I've been living my whole life without knowing that you can access stuff like this. Um, and actually coming to realize that I've actually had visions for I think 15 years or so. Yeah,
Okay. All right. Hey, Sunny. I have
yeah.
Candy here on the phone, and she wanted me to ask a question, and she apologizes because she just cannot. There's some really
No worries, no
we're
worries.
blaming Mercury.
Yeah, yeah, that's okay.
That's right. In retrograde. Okay. So how did you know, in regards to doing the Akashic record and these other modalities that you've been interested in, that this was your soul's path or this was part of your healing?
Well, I actually didn't. I didn't know. Um, there was, I mean, on the same spiritual show where I saw Laura Coe, I saw Roger Burnley, right? And the funny thing is, I've actually asked this in Akashic Records readings, and I've got specific answers on why that is. But the Akashic Records, just like I said, I got goosebumps, and I was like, no, I can't do this. I mean, I've heard gurus talk about this and enlightened people talk about this, right? So I was like, I can't do this, but I said, let me try. So I did try it. It's been going great. It's been going great. And even the Roger Burnley course, actually, it's um, yeah, I mean, there's actually some specific things I need to learn from Roger. And also his course is amazing because you get to work with your own consciousness, right? And and I could see it, like, I think in second week things started changing for me. The way I was looking at things, my whole perspective on things, and this is together with the truth I got the truth like in April. I think I started these courses, what, 3 months after or something like that, in August maybe. But I didn't know it was just like something pulled me in that direction, right? So actually Roger, he back then had like a free like conference thing where you can get a one-on-one to him, and I did that, and we had a great talk. And he was like, okay, you got to be in this program. And the Akashic records, I actually think a month or so after I took the course, I got in the group with you, Cindy. um
Yeah.
but but actually in readings, I actually I actually know specifically why these things happen, and a lot more stuff, right?
Yeah. It's interesting how things kind of fall into place. And The other thing that was really interesting that I know Candy was wanting to talk about a little bit was some of the law of one and the breathing that you do and the healing of that. So what can
Yes.
you tell us about the law of one, and maybe then we can end, if you feel comfortable, with some of the breathing techniques.
Yes. So let me give you a little context for the law of one. Uh, so if people don't know the law of one, it's some American professors in the what was in 1960s that actually wanted to talk to an external entity, and I think uh, they had to figure out how to talk or to communicate, and I think it took them around 20 years. So in 1981 they actually got a hold of an entity, and this entity actually said that his name was Ra. And maybe some of you heard the name Ra, and maybe from the Egyptian times. But the thing is that uh, I resonate totally with the law of one. So I think I heard of the law of one for maybe 10 years ago or something like that. And I heard them talk about how everything is consciousness. And when I heard that, it was just like, for me, it felt like a fact that, okay, they have explained it. And also, there's a way that they talk. It is very, um, it seems like, they talk in a way that they truly know, what can you say, all of consciousness, right? So they know the earth's history and even the history of our solar system. But the thing is that I never heard of it after the 10 years ago. So what happened, we are doing these Akashic record readings in the practice group, and one of the ones I was reading asked me a question. She asked me that, is the Akashic records, is that God? And I started thinking to myself, that everything is God, everything is consciousness. So is if everything is consciousness, then it means that everything is God, or the infinite creator, or the universe, or source, or whatever you want to call it, right? So so because she asked me that question, I felt like I had to do a presentation on consciousness. So I started making a presentation on consciousness for a group, and just by doing that, I actually found back to the law of one. And then I'm seeing it on YouTube, where I see a guy who shows all the questions and then all the answers that Ra gave, and then he talks about it. And some of this can get quite complex, actually. Um, but the thing is, the more I heard about the law of one, the more it just resonated with me, and I was just like, wow, this is so beautiful, and this makes so much sense. And what happened was that, actually, some time after, then we're doing these readings in Akashic records, and I got a reading where this woman told me, the one who was reading me told me that, I see you climbing a pyramid. And she started telling, and I was writing notes for the reading she did, and I was sitting like, yay, like I was so excited. I was so excited. And then she was I mean, the specific details of the law of one, and climbing the pyramid, and all these things that I actually have to do, or I could do, actually. It was just, I got I don't know, I got so excited, while I was like amazed and deeply in honor of all of this. And then, actually, a reading after, I actually specifically asked the question, um, can you give me any guidance on channeling Ra? And
Oh,
the guidance was so specific that I started laughing, and I then asked the question, was this on purpose? I mean, was it on purpose that the law of one resonated so much with me? Was it on purpose that I found back to it again. And then the answer, I mean, it was the most insane answer. Um, uh, what they said was that that yes, it was on purpose. Um, and I mean, I got so much specific details on what to do, how to start working with them, and all this.
Sunny, we
Uh,
have a question from Teresa here.
yeah.
She wanted to know if you have any suggestions on the best way to learn or access the records. Anything that that you can suggest for
Um,
getting started, maybe that has an interest in it now.
yeah, definitely. I mean, now there's a lot of stuff on Akashic Records. I think there's a lot of courses all over the world, actually. So you can find whoever you think resonates with you. And I think what worked best for me was a practice group, especially the one that I'm in now, the one that Cindy is actually administrating, because if you do it on friends and family, um, I think that's a little bit difficult, maybe, or because you know each other so well. So I think doing it with people you don't know, and then just like totally give in to the process. It works, and it is really, really beautiful. You have to try it.
Oh, thank you. Now, what about breathing? Tell us a little bit about when you use your breath work. And I know there's other people in the chat too that say really positive things about breath work. How does that help you, not only in your healing, but you're connecting, whether it's to the energy of Ra or to the records? Tell us a little bit about how you came upon breathing and how you use it now.
Well, so in actually many, I think in all of the meditation processes, they talk about how to breathe, and actually just focus on the breathing. But I came to this by a friend. Um, so I have this really nice morning routine right now, and it changes. It doesn't matter how my night has been, if I got bad sleep or whatever has been going on. But if I do this morning routine, then everything becomes like centered and still. So what I do now, it's a breathing exercise. I think it has basis from Kriya Yoga. So it's also very similar to the breathing method that Wim Hof does. So you're actually breathing in and out. The one I'm doing has two different tempos, like one slow and then one fast. Then you exhale, you keep it out as long as you can, and then you inhale and keep it in for like 10-12 seconds. And then you actually do this 3 times. And I would suggest that you go and find either Wim Hof's method on YouTube. It is really good. Try it out. Don't be scared. It really, really works, and it actually has some amazing things to it. It's really hard to explain, but I think people get afraid too much to like go fully into something, but you won't experience the benefits if you don't go fully into something. So try this out. For me, it works really, really well. So I'll suggest you try that breathing exercise. There is also a lot of beautiful music you can listen to, like the one I used, the one from Sync Mind for the Om Namah Shivaya, binaural beats or something like this, because what it does, it has two different hertz on the ear, like a hertz like megahertz or something like that. So what it does is that because it has these two different sounds, then the brain actually has to what can you say, be aligned to like the middle vibration of these two different hertz that are channeling in the music, so that can do wonders as well. There's actually some precise tone chakra music that has been calculated by Robert Edward Grant, and I actually use them every day. Try those; they're 30 minutes, both of them, and they're really really good. Um, I I'm sure it will change stuff for you if you try that.
And then, Sunny, Blue Jean asks for you to share any insights that you received while you were going through your awakening. Just a couple of things that were the most important that
Mm.
you share with the group.
I think the most important, because you have to remember the state I was in was a state where I didn't love myself, right? So it became worse and worse. But what happened was when I got this information, it shook my world so much, and it still does. It's not like, okay, it's just, it was just back then. It still does. But I think slowly with time, I got more and more information, and it was just like, it's hard to explain because it's a knowing. But I started to know that, okay, if I got this information, this means this and that, and this means this. Suddenly, it opened up. What can you say, more possibilities, or it opened up my even my own perspective and attitude towards things. um it- so yeah, it's really hard to explain, actually. And I think even it's going to be hard for people to understand or even believe in, if you don't have uh any experience with some of this, or tried or heard it from many people or something. But it slowly just started changing me and changing my beliefs, my perspectives, my attitude, and everything. Yeah.
And Nourishing Soul asks, how are the records affecting you on your ongoing healing?
um well, they're actually giving a lot of great advice, and I mean, down to specific details. um so you can have some beliefs, right? Like let's say I started to think, because I knew that we were all one, like everything. You're also the animals, you're every people, because everything is consciousness, right? There's nothing out of consciousness. So thinking with this mind or this perspective, I actually started to think like, okay, I don't want to eat animal meat actually anymore. So I actually asked specifically the records, and what answer they gave was really profound and really beautiful, actually. So they say that there are different ways you can do it, but I asked them, should I stop eating meat? And they didn't say no. Um, but they explained that if you actually love and care for the animal, then instead of taking a life, they will actually give you the life. And in that way, their meat can be very very beneficial for you. So they said, to figure out, to get your all your food from really good sources, and that's even the vegetables and everything else. If you get it from good sources, then the energy that you take in will also change you and have a whole other effect from you. But it's still going on, the healing from the Akashic records. I'm still discovering small things, so it's an ongoing process. But I believe then I can come back 100% from this. I still do.
And um, Sharon asks, how do you see the Akashic records helping humanity with ascension? What can you share on that?
Oh, that's a good question. Because in the beginning, I was doubting it a lot. So by getting these readings, and actually getting a lot of the same information many times, I really started believing it. And you have to understand, if you don't believe in anything, then it can be quite difficult, because I was there myself. Um, but when you start seeing these patterns of what they're saying, you start believing it. And even they actually also give you validation many times, and that is actually one of the best things, because then you know that they know, right? But they guide you to your highest self. What can you say, in every moment. So they want you to be happy. They want you to love yourself fully. They want you to see that everything in this dimension is in love for you. um, and they want you to not limit yourself in any way. They want you to actually enjoy every single present moment there is. And they have so much knowledge. um, Akashic records is said to be the records that have the knowledge of all consciousness in the whole cosmos, right? And even all your past lives. So yeah, it is. They can guide you beautifully towards what can you say, a happier, a more joyful, and more loving person. Yeah.
All right. Did you want to end on a little bit of just a few breaths to demonstrate to people some of the benefits of the breath work and how you do it? It doesn't have to be long, just a little bit so people get an idea.
Yeah, I think, Cindy, I'll tell how I do the breaths, not like the method or anything, but because I think that'll be too long, and it will. I think people need to investigate that a bit more and have more information. But the thing is, when you sit and do meditation or anything, when you breathe in, try to do it where your stomach, when you inhale, your stomach goes out. And you can keep your hands or one of your hands on your stomach. So when you take a deep breath in, feel that the stomach goes out. So it actually means the air comes down into the lower part of your lungs. And when you exhale, the stomach actually goes back in. And just when you meditate, or just sit still, or whatever you're doing, when you're conscious about it, just do it like this and see how it changes your attitude towards things. For me, it works super well, and it just it's hard to explain, but it's like it centers me. It makes everything still. I'm very present when I do it, and yeah, it will open up a whole new dimension for you. And just do it slowly, just like how you would normally breathe, but just do it where you breathe down into the, what's it called, the lower part of your lungs. Do that as much as you can, and that will benefit you a lot.
Well, thank you, Sunny. And Candy says thank you to everybody, and she appreciates the donations on April Fools, which still clearly has some power in the universe. And I'm sorry that I've just jumped on.
Thank you, Cindy.
But anyway, so what about parting words? Any last thing that you want to share with folks before we?
Well, I think I would share. I think I already did a little bit, but the thing is that everything in this dimension, or in all dimension, is consciousness, and your consciousness as well. So this means in this dimension, even every particle is in love for you, for your teaching, for your highest teaching and your highest good. So do whatever you can to love yourself. Don't limit yourself. Don't judge yourself. um, and then just know that the universe, everything is for you, not against you. So always, never give up, and always give in. Just remember that. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Sunny, and thank you to everyone in the chat. And
his contact information.
Oh, and we have your contact information posted in there. I don't think we have a banner for it, but it is in the chat. So everybody go ahead and check out.
And it's on the description.
And it's on the description.
Yes, I got
You can hear Candy back right here. Yeah. Hey, it's a group effort here. Okay.
Yes.
What
You're doing the best we can.
Make it work. So yes, so make sure to check out Sunny's website, and you also have a Facebook page,
Yes.
and I think is there anything else? And I have Candy on the phone. All right, you're right. You're on, Candy. Say whatever you'd like through my phone.
Oh, thank you everyone for stopping by today. I'm super sorry about what has happened here. I mean, I can't even get a connection back, and my cell phone is intermittent as well. So I don't know if it's something more than April Fools and or Mercury retrograde. So, but thanks for coming by, and thank you so much, Sunny, for spending the afternoon with us. And we'll get together again. Maybe we'll just do this recorded and put it out there. But again, thank you, everyone, and I'll see you on the next video.
That's right. It takes a village. We got this. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.